Welcome to the English for Immigrants channel. Here, you'll learn English in a practical, natural way, connected to the everyday life of people living in the United States. If you're an immigrant and want to improve your English communication, you're in the right place. Before we begin, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell, and share it with other immigrants who also want to learn English. And of course, leave a comment below telling us what you think and what topics you'd like to see here. Today's topic is super important: idiomatic expressions that Americans use daily. These are the famous idioms. Understanding them is essential for good communication, because they appear all the time in casual conversations, at work, on TV, in movies, and even during job interviews. Have you ever heard someone say, "break a leg" before a performance? This expression actually means good luck, not "go break your leg" as it sounds. Americans use this phrase often to wish someone success, especially before events or presentations. So if someone says that to you, don't be alarmed. Another very common one is hit the books, which means to study hard. If a classmate says they'll hit the books tonight, they're not hitting anything. They're going to study a lot for an exam. This expression is especially useful for students or people taking courses in the U.S. And how about the expression, "let the cat out of the bag"? Literally, it means let the cat out of the bag, but the real meaning is to reveal a secret accidentally. If you accidentally mention a surprise before it happens, someone might say this to you. There's also piece of cake, used when something is really easy. If someone says a test was a piece of cake, it means it was super easy, no big deal at all. Ever heard "under the weather"? This idiom is used when someone isn't feeling well. So, if a coworker says, "I'm feeling a bit under the weather today," they're telling you they're feeling sick or unwell. Now let's imagine you need to give a direct and honest answer. You might say to be honest or to be frank, but a more idiomatic American expression is to come clean. It means to tell the truth, even when it's hard or uncomfortable. If someone is barking up the wrong tree, it means they're blaming the wrong person or trying the wrong solution. Literally, it means barking at the wrong tree. It sounds funny, but it's widely used in conversations. Bite the bullet is another one you'll hear often. It means to face a difficult or unpleasant situation with courage. For example, if you need to go to the dentist but you're afraid, you can say, "I have to bite the bullet and just go." Cost an arm and a leg is used to talk about something very expensive. For example, "that new phone cost me an arm and a leg." This means it was really expensive, like you had to sell an arm and a leg to afford it. It's a fun way to exaggerate how costly something was. And when someone says, "spill the beans," they mean to reveal a secret or share confidential information. For example, if someone finally tells what the surprise gift is, you might say, "you spilled the beans." Another very common idiom is pulling someone's leg. It means joking or teasing someone in a light-hearted way, like saying, "I'm just messing with you." If someone tells a crazy story and then laughs, they were probably just pulling your leg. When something is hard to accept, Americans say it's a tough pill to swallow. That could be bad news, a hard truth, or a situation you didn't want to face. It's like saying, This is difficult, but I have to deal with it. There's also hit the nail on the head. If someone says something that's exactly right or makes the perfect point, you can say, "You hit the nail on the head." It's a way of saying, "You got it exactly right." When something is up in the air, it means it hasn't been decided yet. For example, our travel plans are still up in the air. That means the decision hasn't been made, and things are still uncertain or pending. If you want to say it's time to sleep, a common expression is hit the hay or hit the sack. Both mean go to bed. You might hear someone say, "I'm tired. I'm gonna hit the hay." That's just another way to say they're going to sleep. When you're really busy, you can say you're swamped. Like, "I'm swamped with work." This means you have too many tasks or responsibilities. It's a vivid way to say you're overwhelmed with things to do. Throw someone under the bus means to blame someone or put them in a bad situation to protect yourself. For example, at work, if someone makes a mistake and blames a coworker, they've thrown that coworker under the bus. When you overcome a bad situation, you can say, "Get over it." It could be something emotional, like the end of a relationship, or a smaller issue, like a disagreement. Saying, "Get over it," means to move on and not let it affect you anymore. If something happens very quickly, you can say it happened in the blink of an eye. That means it was almost instant. For example, "The car passed by in the blink of an eye." It's a great way to describe how fast something happened. When someone avoids talking about an obvious problem, people say the elephant in the room. It refers to something everyone sees or knows about, but no one wants to talk about. It's a very visual way to describe an uncomfortable truth. If someone is acting mysteriously or doing something secretly, you might say they're working behind the scenes or that they're up to something. These phrases imply there's something hidden going on. A very American expression for something that turns out good, even though it seemed bad at first, is a blessing in disguise. For example, losing a job might lead to a better opportunity later. That's a blessing in disguise. Another expression you might hear is "by the book." This means following rules or doing something exactly as prescribed without taking shortcuts. If someone does something by the book, they're doing it according to the official instructions or procedures. If something is very difficult or takes a lot of time and effort, you might hear someone say it's like pulling teeth. For example, "Getting him to agree was like pulling teeth." That means it was a very challenging task. When you need to do something but you don't really want to, Americans say it's a necessary evil. It's something you have to do even though you'd rather avoid it. An example would be doing taxes. It's not fun, but it's something you must do. Have you ever been in a situation where you felt like you were walking on thin ice? This means you were in a risky situation where things could go wrong at any moment. It's a great metaphor for moments when you feel uncertain and fragile. If someone is all ears, it means they're listening closely or paying full attention. For instance, "Tell me what happened. I'm all ears." This means they're excited and eager to hear the story or news. When something is set in stone, it means it's fixed and can't be changed. If plans are set in stone, it means they are finalized and there's no going back. For example, "The date for the event is set in stone." If you need to explain something that's very simple or easy to understand, you might say, "It's as easy as pie." For example, "Don't worry about the exam, it's as easy as pie." It's a way of saying that something is really easy. Another phrase is "the ball is in your court." This means that it's your turn to make a decision or take action. For example, "I've done everything I can. Now the ball is in your court." If you hear someone say, "Let's cross that bridge when we come to it," they mean they'll deal with a problem when it actually happens, not before. It's a way to say that there's no need to worry about a situation until it's necessary. Under the radar is used when something is done secretly or without attracting attention. For example, "He's been working under the radar on that project." This means he's been working quietly, without making a big deal out of it. If someone is on the same page, it means they both understand and agree about something. For example, "Let's make sure we're on the same page before we proceed." It's all about alignment and understanding. When something is in the nick of time, it means it happened just in time, at the last possible moment. For example, "He arrived in the nick of time for the meeting." That means he showed up right before it was too late. If someone says, "at the drop of a hat," it means they're ready to do something immediately, without hesitation. For example, "She help you at the drop of a hat." This means she's always ready to assist. If someone is in hot water, it means they're in trouble or facing difficulties. For instance, "He's in hot water after missing the deadline." It's a way to say that someone is facing consequences for their actions. If you're asked to keep your fingers crossed, it means you're hoping for good luck or wishing for a positive outcome. For example, "Keep your fingers crossed for the interview." It's like saying, "I hope everything goes well." When you burn the midnight oil, it means you're staying up late working on something. For example, "I've been burning the midnight oil to finish this report." It's used when you're working hard, especially late into the night. "Cut to the chase" is used when you want to skip unnecessary details and get straight to the important part. For example, if someone is talking too much, you might say, "Let's cut to the chase." When you play it by ear, it means you're going to improvise and not make a definite plan. For example, "We don't have a set plan for the weekend. We'll just play it by ear." It's about being flexible and going with the flow. To get a taste of your own medicine means to experience the same negative treatment that you've given others. If you've been rude to someone and they're rude back, you might say, "You're getting a taste of your own medicine." If someone is on cloud nine, it means they're extremely happy or excited. For example, "She was on cloud nine after getting the job." It's a way to say that someone is in a state of pure joy. When something is a blessing in disguise, it means that a bad situation eventually turns out to be something good. For example, "Losing that job was a blessing in disguise because it led me to a better opportunity." Actions speak louder than words means that what people do is more important than what they say. For example, "He promised to help, but actions speak louder than words." It's a way of saying that actions reveal true intentions. If you bite off more than you can chew, it means you take on more responsibility than you can handle. For example, "I think I bit off more than I can chew with this project." It's about overcommitting or trying to do too much. Don't cry over spilled milk is an idiom that means you shouldn't be upset about something that cannot be fixed or changed. For example, it's okay, don't cry over spilled milk, we'll figure it out. It encourages moving on from small mistakes or losses. If someone is in a pickle, it means they're in a difficult or tricky situation. For example, I'm in a pickle here because I lost my wallet. It's a way of describing being stuck or facing a problem. When you take something with a grain of salt, it means you don't take it too seriously or believe it completely. For example, take his advice with a grain of salt. He's not an expert. It's about being skeptical or cautious about something. If it's not one thing, it's another, is a phrase used when problems keep happening one after another. For example, first, the car broke down, then I missed my flight. If it's not one thing, it's another. It expresses frustration when things keep going wrong. Better late than never is used when something happens later than expected but is still appreciated. For example, I know I'm late, but better late than never. It's a way to say that it's good that something happened, even if it was delayed. If you're in the driver's seat, it means you're in control of the situation. For example, now that I have the information, I'm in the driver's seat. It's about being in charge or having control over what happens next. A common expression for something that's difficult to believe is, you can't judge a book by its cover. It means you can't judge people or things only by how they appear. For example, she seems quiet, but you can't judge a book by its cover. If you found these idioms helpful, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell to receive notifications for more content like this. Share it with your friends and fellow immigrants who want to improve their English, and leave a comment below telling us your favorite idiom or if you have any questions. See you next time.